Hi there, now we're going to do lesson 165. Let not my mind deny the thought of God. In other words, let me not have my ego block what God knows to be the truth. Paragraph 1. What makes this world seem real except your own denial of the truth that lies beyond? So for example, when I believed that I needed somebody to take care of me, I needed my ex-husband Ken to take care and provide for me, I let my own mind deny that God was the source that was taking care of me, that God was the source of all the abundance that I could possibly ever want or desire. I just needed to align my mind with God's mind. So I needed to get my will to be freed up from the ego believing I could will against God, get my will to align with God, and then I could begin to receive the guidance that has allowed me to build my business, build my practice, receive the abundance that is meant to be mine. And my safety comes from knowing that I go to God. My abundance comes from knowing that I go to God. So I had to stop denying that safety and abundance was available to me when I was believing that what was true was that it came from Ken. And when I said it comes from Ken, well, I was telling myself a story that allowed me to not know what lied, what was laying beyond this idea that I had about Ken as my source. Paragraph 1, sentence 2. What but your thoughts of misery and death obscure the perfect happiness and the eternal life your Father wills for you? Oh my gosh. Ken is a source of my safety. I better do what Ken needs me to do so that I don't upset him and he won't cut me off and he won't take, the whatever he's paying. He won't stop paying for the groceries. He won't stop paying for the mortgage. Terror, misery, total, complete misery. I was obscured to the perfect happiness that would happen when I say, God, you're my source. The minute I say, God, you're going to tell me what to do. All right, Ken, you want to get a divorce? Fine, let's get a divorce. All of a sudden, sell your house, ideas, do this, do that, began to flow. And they never stopped flowing. I just was blocking them when I was believing one thing to make myself miserable. Instead, I decided to, all right, let me receive my happiness and my joy, and then opened up that portal so that I could hear God clearly. Sentence number 3. And what could hide what cannot be concealed except illusion? Yeah, you can't conceal your happiness is there, but you can hide it from yourself if you're believing it's not. That's how powerful our mind is. What could keep from you what you already have except your choice to see it not? Denying it is there. Oh my gosh, the thoughts are so powerful. If I'm believing Ken is my source and I put all my chickens in that basket, or my eggs in that basket, however the saying goes, when he begins to pull things and he gets mad and he gets angry and his ego wants to punish me and he begins to take things away, I feel lack. Of course I was miserable, but all I had to do was shift and lift, get my mind right and lift my vibration to think with God and will with God, what would you have me do? But I had to get defenseless. I had to stop trying to convince Ken that he was wrong about what he was doing. And I had to say, it is what it is. Let me just be happy. God, what would you have me do? Just shift from listening to the nonsense of the ego, the BS, the belief system that blocks truth, and lift, God, what would you have me do? That's simple. That's simple. Paragraph 2. The thought of God created you. God thought me into existence. I think God out of my existence when I think that Ken was my source of happiness. I inserted the thought that Ken was my source instead of God being my source. So when I insert a thought that is not true, I deny the thought that is true. It really is that simple. It left you not the thought that God created us. It left us not, nor have you ever been apart from it an instant. We can't be apart from God because we're in the mind of God. God is thinking about us all the time. If God did not think us into existence, I promise you, we would disappear. We would disappear because we exist in the mind of God, in God's consciousness. So you're here because God wants you here, just as I am here because God thought me here. It belongs to you, the thought of God having created us. By it you live. That's right. If God stops thinking about me today, I'm gone. I would be no longer an experience inside of God's mind. I cannot think God out of my mind, because I cannot do that. I can block it and deny that God is in my mind, but God can stop thinking about me, stop imagining me, and I would be totally, completely gone. I couldn't live. It would not be possible. It is your source of life, holding you one with it, and everything is one with you because it left you not. The thought of God protects you, cares for you, makes soft your resting place and smooth your way, lighting your mind with happiness and love. Eternity and everlasting life shine in your mind because the thought of God has left you not and still abides with you. This is why I expect God to do its part, because God has made it very clear it has never left me. It is my thought of happiness, my thought of joy, my thought of abundance and well-being. And when I begin to think the truth that has created me, I begin to align with that truth and accept that that is really who I am and God really wants me here, I found my worthiness. Like, if God wants me here, why wouldn't I want me here? If God is thanking me, why not enjoy this world, not enjoy this experience that I'm here, instead of using that out there to make me miserable and unhappy by saying, oh, that doesn't have what I want, when what I want is already accessible to me in my mind, because the thought of God has not left my mind. All I need to do is think with God. God, what are you thinking? Tell me, what are you thinking? What adventure do we have today? And when I align with that, the path gets made easier. Absolutely amazing. Paragraph 3. Who would deny his safety and his peace, his joy, his healing, and his peace of mind, his quiet rest, his calming awakening, if he but recognized where they abide? Well, clearly, when I said Ken was the source of that, I was miserable. I was miserable because my mind was thinking about all the things that were not there. But when I went to okay, God, you show me the way now. It's on you to pave the path. It's on you to feather my nest. It's on you to make things smooth for me, to make it fun and easy, as God told me it would be when I had an encounter and I heard that message loud and clear in 2007. I asked God, how will I know I'm enlightened? How will I know I've achieved the knowingness? A light has been turned on in my consciousness. That's what being enlightened is to me. I now see with a light of truth. I was told life will be fun and easy. And I went, how can life be fun and easy? It's a world of suffering. Have you not seen the problems out there? Have you not seen the news lately? And then God just said to me, if it's not fun, if it's not easy, you're not listening to me. You're trying to make it happen on your own. And it's taken me, 11 years to really get to the place that I go, yo, God, you're in charge here. Tell me what to do. But it took me many, many years of preparation to accept the truth that has been true always, and to stop denying what was true, to stop thinking on my own, to stop blocking God. You know, letting go of that part of us that wants to be right, our spiritualized ego. It takes time. It's work. It takes a lot of courage. That's why the practice is crucial. Practice is crucial. This is my 6th year doing the Course in Miracles lessons. Why? Because I won't stop doing what's good for me. I won't stop what makes my life so enjoyable. I will not stop doing the simplest thing I do each day, which is just to listen to what God has to say to me. Powerful. Would he not instantly prepare to go where they are found, abandoning all else as worthless in comparison with them? Exactly. Would he not instantly prepare to go where they are found? Why wouldn't I go down the path of least resistance, the path of fun and ease? Because God has put the things exactly where I need to find them. My joy, my happiness is inside of me, not out there. But those things out there that I'm going to encounter, I encounter them with joy and happiness and abundance in my heart. Now they don't have any power over me. I get to enjoy them. Or say no if I feel like saying no. And having found them, would he not make sure they stay with him and he remain with them? Absolutely. Once I found all my treasures inside of me, inside of this beautiful temple that God created to house the essence of what God is, inside of this body vessel, why would I not want to listen to God? Paragraph 4, deny not heaven. When we think on our own, we deny heaven. It is yours today, but for the asking. Ask and it is received. Why? Because it was already given to us. All we're doing is accepting what was already so. nor need you perceive how great the gift, how changed your mind will be before it comes to you. You know what? I did not know how wonderful this was going to be. So there was no way I could have perceived how great it would be. But now, looking back, holy cow, I wish I would have done this sooner, because it would have saved me a lot of suffering. And that's what the Course says. This Course, if you do the practice, is designed to save you time from suffering. You can undo years, thousands of years, it says, of suffering by accepting the truth that is yours now. Because the truth, you don't have to wait 1,000 years to get to the truth. The truth is already in you now, but you can take 1,000 years wandering through the desert and denying that the truth is there. But once you say it's there, all of a sudden, you come inside. You begin to feel the treasures. You begin to realize, make real what is true already in you. But you got to get out of your mind that says you know everything and you're looking for it outside of you. So ask to receive, and it is given you. It's given you. It was given to us once. There is no time. It wasn't given to us in the past. It's now. It's there now. Conviction lies within it. Heck, I know. I trust that it is there. Till you welcome it as yours, uncertainty remains. Listen to that statement, how clear it is. Till you welcome it as yours, until you accept, yes, it is my truth, and I am worthy of receiving all of this goodness because God created me to be worthy. I'm here because God wants me here. Uncertainty remains, doubt remains, lack remains, fear remains, misery remains, illness remains, lack of love remains, fear remains. Do you really want that? When you know that your treasures are already inside of you, all you have to do is accept them. Sentence 7, paragraph 4, yet God is fair. Sureness is not required to receive what only your acceptance can bestow. You don't have to be 100% sure about this. You can just say, let me try it out. God, what would you have me do? What would you have me order from this menu today? Start little. God, what would you have me wear? Start little. God, who should I call today? What magazine should I read? What show should I watch on TV? What book should I read at the bookstore? Start little, and then you will begin to see a synchronistic chain of events begin to happen, and then you will know you are on the path that is fun and easy. Why? Because God doesn't put obstacles in our way. God, through you and through me, wants to have an enjoyable experience. Why? Because God is joy. But it needs our willing participation to have it be that way for us. It's always joyful for God, but we get to experience it joyfully if we don't resist what is true. Paragraph 5, ask with desire. You have to really want this. You can't say, oh, I really want God to help me, but I don't think God's going to really do it for me, or I'm not worthy of that, and that person tried it and it didn't work out for them. You got to desire it. You got to really want it. You need not be sure that you request the only thing you want. But when you have received, you will be sure you have the treasure you have always thought. Believe me, I keep receiving so much. It's amazing. I keep receiving things I had no idea I wanted. What would you then exchange for it? What would induce you not to let it fade away from your ecstatic vision? For this sight proves that you have exchanged your blindness for the seeing eyes of Christ. Your mind has come to lay aside denial and accept the thought of God as your inheritance. So you got to be willing to say, I don't want to see with my blind eyes. I want to see with the sight of Christ. I don't want to keep bumping into obstacles. I want the path to be fun and easy. Paragraph 6, now is all doubting past, the journey's end made certain, and salvation given you. See, the journey ends when you come inside and you acknowledge that everything is already in you. Now you're no longer seeking. Now you are practicing, which is what happened to me. Once I realized in 2007 when I had that experience with God, I didn't need to keep seeking. But I had lots of blocks that I had to work through, lots of denials, lots of judgments, lots of fears, and I had to see them and release them. I had to see them and shift out of them. I had to see them and shift my perception, and I gave myself 11 years of miracles, because each time I changed my mind and allowed God to be right, I gave myself a miracle. And little by little, what was not true has just been dissolving. Sentence number 2. Now is Christ's power in your mind to heal as you were healed. For now you are among the saviors of the world. Your destiny lies there and nowhere else, in your mind, in a clear mind that aligns with the mind of God. Would God consent to let his son remain forever starved by his denial of the nourishment he needs to live? No. Abundance dwells in him, and deprivation cannot cut him off from God's sustaining love and from his home. So if you are starving for love, if you're starving for joy, if you're starving for inspiration, it's because you are denying yourself entrance to where all of these treasures lie. And all you have to do is say, God, show me the way. It's your thinking. It's your thoughts that you can't have it. It's your thought that it's difficult for me. Other people get it, but I don't. I don't have the degree. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I wasn't born to a rich family. I wasn't born even to a middle-class family. I'm not tall enough. I'm not white enough. I'm not, dark enough. I'm not this enough. All of the thoughts that say that I cannot have what God says I am are the thoughts that we are letting go of. Those thoughts deny the truth. So we got to accept our goodness. We're literally affirming the truth that God has said that we are wonderful. The God has said I am magnificent because that's how we were created. I walk around knowing I am magnificent. But there's a humbleness now because it's not I'm magnificent, look at me. It's I am magnificent. God, you looked upon me and made me magnificent. How can I deny the world of the light that this being can bring when I know that what is magnificent is the love of God in me? Absolutely powerful. Paragraph 7. Practice today in hope, for hope indeed is justified. Your doubts are meaningless, for God is certain. Your doubts, your self-deception, your denials, your thoughts in lack and disempowerment and I'm not good enough, your doubts are meaningless. God is certain. God has said you are valuable, you are powerful, you're worthy, you are eternal, you're magnificent, you're love, you're light. What more can you possibly want? It's that simple. We're accepting what has always been true. And it's here now for our taking. And the thought of him is never absent. My gosh, I think about God 24/7. Why? Because that is the source of my happiness. The source of my happiness is the acceptance that I am as God created me. Of course, I think about God all the time. Sureness must abide within you who are host to him. Can you tell I'm sure? Isn't that obvious from these videos? My certainty? Yes, I slip and I forget from time to time, but then I pick myself back up and say, God, forgive me. I was in insanity, and God doesn't even have to forgive me. I forgive myself for forgetting that I was in insanity. And you, as a friend of mine says, you keep it moving. You keep moving with God in your heart. You keep knowing that whatever it is that you need to know, you will get to know it in that now moment. That's why we don't sweat the small stuff. Sentence 6. This Course in Miracles, removes all doubts which you have interposed between him and your certainty of him. How does this course remove your doubts? By training your mind. How do you train your mind to think with God? All the things that God says are true here is what you need to accept as your truth. Everything that you think it blocks it is your ego thinking. We count on God and not upon ourselves, our ego mind, to give us certainty. And in his name, we practice as his word directs we do. Instead of saying, I don't think I can do it, I say, I can do anything I want. When I ask God if that's what I'm supposed to do, that's what I do. Sometimes God tells me, no, you're not supposed to go jump out of an airplane. No, skydiving is not for you. All right. I don't not do it because I'm afraid anymore. I don't do it because God doesn't inspire me to do it, but God inspires me to garden. God inspires me to dance. God inspires me to be kind. God inspires me to do all kinds of things that I didn't think I could do. But because I only do what I know God inspires me to do, I'm not blocking myself with my illusions of what I can and cannot do according to Laina or according to the world. So, paragraph 8, and in his name we practice as his word directs we do. That's why we got to go into stillness so we can hear God. His sureness lies beyond our every doubt. And doubt breeds confusion, anxiety, It clouds the mind. You cannot hear clearly. So if you want to hear clearly, God, what would you have me do? And then you stop thinking. His love remains beyond our every fear. The thought of him is still beyond all dreams and in our minds according to his will. The thought of him, knowing God created me, knowing God is in me, knowing I'm in God, knowing the truth, is beyond all dreams and in my mind. All I have to do is think from that side. Go to that drawer in the filing cabinet that my mind is and get out of these drawers that are full of viruses and limitations and disempowering thoughts and judgments. I can just go look at the files over here. Oh, what are my affirmations that God said are true? Just go through the Course in Miracles and it tells you every single line, every single heading of every single one of these lessons is an affirmation that you can easily use. So if God says, that I only see the past, then I know. Well, ego is the one that is telling me that if I'm thinking with the ego, I'm only going to see the past. If God tells me that I am as God created me, okay, I'm going to use this. Whoa, God, how did you create me? Love, light, happiness, joy, peace, eternalness. All right, let that be my truth. It's so simple. Just accept what is true because it's going to be true always. Why create more suffering for yourself when in this now moment you could stop it simply by choosing to be as God created you? Be humble enough to accept that you didn't create yourself. And then be courageous enough to be exactly how God created you. It doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is that you live it from your heart. Everything else gets taken care of. It's okay to be bold, as long as your boldness comes from truth. Thanks a bunch and have a magnificent day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.